Hi, I'm Andrew, and welcome to Top 15 Fantasy Baseball Prospects for 2016. I'd like to give a shout out to Justin B for requesting the video. I always love your guys' input and requests on what I should make. A couple notes. I'm going to be making 2 videos on prospects. This one is my top 15 for Dynasty Leagues this year. My next video is going to be top 10 prospects you need to know about going into 2016 and beyond. I'm not including guys like Corey Seager, people like that, Byron Buxton. Those people are not on my list because, for all intents and purposes, I don't consider them prospects for fantasy baseball. So, number 1 on my list is Tyler Glasnow. I'm really excited about this guy. He's going to be up at some point this year. And when I think of Tyler Glasnow, I think of Garrett Cole, and you see how he's done. 109 innings last year in the minors, 136 strikeouts, a very nice 11.2 strikeouts per 9 innings. The whip was pretty low, and the ERA was great. I am really excited for Glasnow this year. Number 2 on my list is Lucas Giolito from the Washington Nationals. Here is another great starting pitcher. There are so many great starting pitchers in the minors right now. He's going to be up at some point this year. I'm leaning more towards the end. I think Glasnow will be up before him. When I think of Giolito, he's got a great curveball, and that reminds me of Adam Wainwright. So, kind of comparison there of what I think. The whip was a little high. He did have a good strikeout rate, 10.1 per 9 innings. The walks were low. I just like to see the whip go down a little bit, but he's got a great curveball, and I'm really excited for him too. Number 3 on my list is Yoan Moncada, and you can see what he did last year. 81 games, 49 steals in 81 games. 8 home runs, 38 RBIs. He had 19 doubles with a 278 average, good walk rate, 380. The steals are what really excite me. When I think of Moncada, I think Jason Kipnis, what we thought Jason Kipnis could be, not who he is now. That's kind of where I view what Moncada can do. He's definitely a guy to look for. Number 4 on my list is actually on my sleeper list, or Orlando Arcia, shortstop for the Brewers. And I actually put him on my sleeper list before the Segura trade, and now that they traded Segura to Arizona, I'm even more excited about Arcia. I would predict he is probably going to be one of the first major prospects to play this year. 25 stolen bases last year, 8 home runs, 69 RBIs. He's got a good average, and he's following in the footsteps of a great young crop of shortstops like Lindor and others. So I'm really excited for him. I think he could be Elvis Andrus, but with a better average, like earlier Elvis Andrus than what he is now. I'm excited for him. If you have a bench spot to stash him, or if you're not confident with the shortstop you drafted and he's available, it's a guy I would look picking up. Number 5 on my list is Sean Newcombe, who was involved in a trade sending Andrelton Simmons to the Angels, and I think that was a huge mistake for the Angels. I'm really excited for Newcombe, especially the strikeouts, 11.1 per 9. Walks are pretty high. That is something he's going to have to deal with, and that contributed to his overall whip. But if he can bring the walks down, I think he could be the potential to be a Chris Archer type pitcher. A lot of strikeouts, good ERA, so he's a guy I would look at. Number 6 on my list is Julio Urias, who you might have expected him to be a little higher on this list. Looking at what he did last year, I think he took a step back. The strikeouts, while still pretty good, were down. The ERA was up, and I'm worried about the innings. He's not throwing a ton of innings compared to other starting pitchers in the minors, and I think that could really affect him early on. Now, he's got great potential, but he just needs to harness that. Throwing out a comparison there, Johnny Cueto, not second half Johnny Cueto, but more like what he was a couple years ago, even 2 years ago. So that's around what I think for Urias. Number 7 on my list is Dansby Swanson, who was the headliner in the ridiculous trade that Arizona made for Shelby Miller. He's farther off than most of the people on this list. When I was ranking them, I really took into consideration distance to majors, as you can see by my star system, with 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. It's got a good ceiling. In limited time, I liked what I saw. It's just so hard to predict players this early in the minors, but I was encouraged by his limited playing time last year. Number 8 on my list is Nomar Mazara from the Texas Rangers. He's an outfielder. I think he'll be up before the All-Star break. He's got decent power. He was walking, 26 doubles in 131 games. I think, well, not this year, but overall, I think he'd be a 20 home run guy. He doesn't steal, but high average, good contact guy is what I project him to be. Number 9 on my list is Rafael Devers, third baseman for the Red Sox. He had a good average last year. I wasn't encouraged by the walk rate, which makes me hesitate a little. That's why he's only got 2 stars on the floor. I think the strikeout rate could cause him problems. It's not that he struck out a ton. I mean, he only had 84 in 115 games. It's just he's not walking enough, which says something about his plate discipline. 11 home runs, 70 RBIs. I think he could be really good. I would love to see this year to see him take a step forward in plate discipline. Number 10 on my list is Alex Reyes. Reyes, why? He would have been higher on my list, but suspended for marijuana use. I think of Carlos Martinez when I think of Alex Reyes, and we saw how well Martinez did, especially in the first half of the year. I mean, if you look at these numbers, he did 13.4 strikeouts per 9, 151 strikeouts and 101.1 innings. Really excited for him, but the marijuana use definitely cut back on when he's going to be up. I don't even know if he'll be up this year. I think it's a possibility in September, but it's definitely something to watch. Number 11 is Jose De Leon of the Dodgers. I mean, I take a look at this guy's strikeout ratio, 12.85 per 9. He had 163 strikeouts last year, 2.99 ERA. The walks were pretty good. I really like this guy, and he's number 11 because just how crowded. I mean, you see a lot of these people in this lot of pitchers because there's so many good pitchers in the minor leagues right now. I think he'll come up sometime this year, but the Dodgers rotation is already pretty crowded, so he'd have to excel to really find a spot there, but going into next year, I'm really excited for him. Number 12 is Minor League Player of the Year, Blake Snell. I love Blake Snell. I have him in a couple of my dynasty leagues. Good strikeout rate. The ERA. I mean, the ERA automatically just stands out at 1.41 last year. Walks were a little higher than I wanted, but not horrible. The Reyes are always known for making good pitching, and the reason he's not higher on this list is I'm kind of hesitant, as the Rays are known to make good pitchers, but how many of them continue to pitch well at an elite level? I mean, you think Matt Moore, who was on my sleepers list this year, but injuries derailed him. Alex Cobb. Chris Archer turned out good, but I would hesitate. I think he'll be one of the first players called up this year, and definitely if you can grab in the later rounds, even in redraft leagues, I would take him. Number 13 is Jose Berrios from the Twins. He had 9.48 strikeout per 9, which was pretty good, especially the walks. I love the walks. It was only 38 to 175 strikeouts. Good ERA. He's got great control. I think there's a possibility he could be up over the All-Star break, especially if the Twins compete like they did last year. I think he caught up pretty quick with that rotation, so he's definitely a guy to watch. Number 14 is Brendan Rodgers, who, like the other guy on the list, Dansby Swanson, it's hard to project. He hasn't had a ton of playing time. He did pretty well last year, 39 hits in 37 games, 8 doubles, 3 home runs, 4 stolen bases. He's a shortstop, and if Trevor Story takes off at shortstop, I'm thinking he could get moved to another position if Story works out for them, which might affect his value. But right now he's a shortstop. He's definitely a guy to be looking at, and another impressive crop of shortstops that could emerge. Number 15 is Aaron Judge. Tail of 2 seasons last year, he did pretty well in Double-A, but struggled. I think he hit 228 in Triple-A. In a limited time. He didn't play as much in AAA. But he's got great power. He's got an okay walk rate. He strikes out a little bit too much. I think this is one of the high-risk guys. You know, good power, but strikes out a lot. I mean, he could be as good as Chris Bryant, or he could flame out and not hit for average at all. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Chris Bryant. I was just using that as a reference point with strikeouts. So we'll see what happens with Judge. Really interested to watch him this season. And that was my top 15 prospects for the 2016 season. As I said, my next video will be on top 10 prospects you need to know about. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, or email me at fantasyabe1@gmail.com. You know, if you have trade questions, keeper questions, love to answer them. I might even answer them in a video. And just like Justin B. Gave the suggestion before, I love suggestions, so if you have anything you want to see, let me know in the comments and I could make that happen. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.